Modal.
I agree with you. Yes. I agree with you, Mom.
Okay. Okay. 10, 9, move, speed. 8, 7, 6, 5.
So let's talk about doing a big room photo for a minute. One of the things with, of course, big room, you need lots of light, and usually that means more than one flash. Usually 2, 3, 4, 5, however many, maybe many flashes to light up a big room like this. And one of the other things that's important for any underground photography is that, you know, on the surface we have scale. I don't know. Can you know the words? Will they know the word scale? To show how big something is. So on the surface, we know how big a person is. We know how big a car is. We know how big a tree is. So if we take a picture above ground, why I like this spot, because I like the fact that these stalactites are hanging down. These groups of we would call them draperies in the U.S. or curtains hanging down, or stalactites. So that adds some interest in the foreground, I think. So that's one thing you can do, even if you have a big passage that doesn't have very interesting formations. If there's formations in one part of the passage, you can set your camera up near those formations, so the formations are in the front of the photo where you can see them, and then the more boring parts, the uninteresting parts of the cave are farther away. So that's one of the things I do when I'm picking a spot to set up a photo. I was also hoping the bats would come out, but I think we've scared off the bats.
There's one over here.
It would be very cool if the bats flew. We went to.
There's one. There's a couple.
If we're lucky, we'll get one of the flashes, and of course the flash is such a short burst of light that it'll catch the bat, you know, in the middle of the air flying, which would be very cool if that happens. So, and I didn't put my tape on here. What else was I going to say? So I think what I'll do is we'll light the passage two different ways. One way we'll do it with the models holding the flashes and looking away from the camera and lighting up the passage. And then we'll do it again where we'll use but they have a lot of good features on them. They are a radio slave. So if there are different people photographing in the same part of the cave at the same time, you can set a different channel on the slave, so that the two photographers can work and without setting each other's flashes off. So that's very nice. And then they also have multiple power settings, and you can do hold stops or 1/3 stop. You know, you can make them 100% power, or half power, quarter power, eighth power, 16th power, and so on. The power, less power. Okay, so these, yeah, without having to go over and change the power setting, yeah. And so you can, if all your flashes are this type, you can set any power setting on any of the flashes. So that's very nice. The other flashes I have are I bought these just because they're very small and lightweight, and so I can put two flashes and my transmitter all in one box, and you know, to travel in the cave. So I bought these because they're small. These are not as bright as these. This is only about roughly equivalent to 1/4 power on this. So these also take a long time to charge up. It's about.
Turn around and show. Turn around and show. Everybody's behind you.
Oh, sorry. So so it would be like this. So if the camera was behind me, so you would hold it down like this, where you can hook your finger in your pocket, something like that.
You can put the flash in your pocket too.
I don't want light on this rock here, So I don't want you standing here, because if you're standing here, there would be bright rock, with white rock. But if you're standing here, then this rock will not be lit, and then you won't have this won't be burned out. It'll look better. So just the flashes are synchronized. There's very little need to use a tripod, especially for like small photos, like macro, or more close-in photos of formations. You don't really need a tripod. For a big movie shot like this, yeah, the tripod's handy because you can get the framing just right, and you can have the exact, like we're doing now with lots of photos in order to get one really good one. And so it's nice to have them on a tripod. But I only use a tripod for maybe 1 out of every 20 photos I take.
Oh yeah. Just actually to take some picture.
Oh, you want to act like we're taking a picture.
And you're taking a picture.
Okay. Pretend.
Ready, roll, you.
Okay.
Okay, ready. Please, please.
Lights.
1, 2, 3.
Yes,
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
yes. Stop. One more, sorry.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Cool.
Okay,
Well,
one
that's
more, sorry.
interesting. That was interesting. I have people in there. Just 2 flashes on slaves, and I'll have like 2 assistants, and have one assistant hold each flash. And typically, like portrait photography of a person, you want typically when you take like in a studio, when you go to a professional photographer, one light will be brighter than the other. So they might have 2 lights set up, but one will be brighter than the other. So there's a little bit of shadowing on the side of the face. And I try to do the same thing with cave photography. So if I have 2 flashes, I'll maybe set 1 at full power and 1 at half power, or 1 at half power and 1 1/4 power, something like that, in order to have it a little bit more interesting lighting rather than too flat. And then I almost never put a flash on the camera anymore. I used to use a flash on the camera sometimes, but now I almost never use a flash on the camera because again, it makes the lighting too flat, too uninteresting. It's more interesting to get the 2 flashes off to the side. So let's go do that, and if you don't mind, I'll try to get a picture of the back.
Handap na ka China na set mo. Stop ito.
Oh, you're fasting today.
Kegiatan kita ngomongin lagi.
Oke, somebody ada yang lihat ini? Dibuka semuanya kamera fotografer. One, two, smile. Oke, thank you.
Yang suka apa?
Ya.
Ini di awal.
Okay. Okay, so the stream is interesting to me for photos, especially there was one place where there's water dripping from the ceiling. And this video light would be really good for the water dripping from the ceiling. Because it would...